When you're 75, your body doesn't always work the way it used to, and that can be frustrating. You might notice your hands or feet feel colder at night. Maybe your legs get that heavy, tingling feeling after dinner. Or perhaps you started waking up in the middle of the night with restless legs or cramps. Many men shrug it off, thinking that's just old age. But what if a simple evening habit, something you eat before bed, could help your blood flow better and even help you sleep more soundly? That's exactly what we're talking about today. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton. For over 30 years, I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Men who want to stay independent, energetic, and confident. And over the years, I've noticed something fascinating. Blood flow, more than just about any other factor, determines how vibrant a man feels in his later years. It affects your heart, your brain, your energy, even your most private moments. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to support that circulation starts not with pills or fancy supplements, but with the right nighttime food ritual. Let me tell you about Richard, a 77-year-old gentleman who came to see me a few months ago. He was a retired carpenter, proud of still mowing his own lawn and fixing up his house. But he told me, "Doc, my legs feel like lead by evening, and when I finally get into bed, they start twitching. I can't get comfortable." We ran his usual checks, his heart, blood pressure, blood sugar, and everything was fairly stable for his age. But as we talked more, I realized his problem wasn't just circulation, it was timing and nutrition. Like many men, Richard was skipping dinner or eating something small and processed late in the evening, a few crackers, a slice of cheese, maybe some leftover toast. That's not enough to feed your blood vessels what they need overnight. You see, as we age, our blood vessels lose little of their flexibility. Think of them like old garden hoses. They still work, but they need the right hydration and nutrients to stay supple. One key nutrient that helps them relax and open up is something called nitrate, found naturally in certain vegetables like beets, spinach, and celery. Another helpful compound is magnesium, which calms your muscles and helps prevent that nighttime restlessness. So I told Richard, before bed, instead of crackers or tea, try this small habit for 1 week. Half a cup of beet smoothie, or even a few slices of roasted beet, along with a handful of almonds or a banana. He looked skeptical. "Beets before bed, Doc?" he chuckled, but he gave it a shot. A week later, he called me sounding like a different man. "I don't know what kind of magic you pulled, but I'm sleeping deeper and my legs feel alive again." That's not magic. It's biology. When you eat foods rich in nitrates and magnesium before bed, your body converts them into nitric oxide, a natural compound that widens your blood vessels, improving oxygen flow through the night. That means warmer hands, less restlessness, better sleep, and yes, even better morning energy, if you know what I mean. Now, before we go deeper into the science and share a few other foods that help, I want to ask, do you ever feel your legs or feet go cold at night? If that sounds like you, type yes in the comments below. I read those personally because they help me know what you're dealing with and they help me make videos that actually matter to you. And if you're finding this information helpful so far, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us reach more seniors who could benefit from simple, natural tips like this one. Back to Richard. After 2 weeks of that simple change, his sleep improved so much that his wife told me she was the one who noticed first. She said, "He doesn't toss and turn anymore," she laughed, "and his feet don't feel like ice blocks." That's the kind of quiet victory I love to see in my patients. Not dramatic, not instant, but deeply life-improving. There's something else that happens when you feed your blood vessels right before bed. Overnight, while your heart rate slows and your body repairs itself, better circulation means your tissues, especially those in your brain and muscles, get more oxygen. It helps prevent that morning fogginess and boosts your stamina for the next day. And for men, healthy nighttime circulation also supports what we call vascular performance in the morning, something most men notice but few talk about openly. I tell my patients, your evening meal is like a message to your body about what kind of night you want to have. Feed it well, and it will reward you with calm, warmth, and vitality. Ignore it, and your body will remind you with cold toes, restless sleep, and that sluggish morning start. When I first explained to Richard what was actually happening inside his body at night, his eyes widened. He said, "Doc, I thought blood flow was only about the heart." And that's where many men misunderstand the story. After 70, circulation isn't just a heart issue, it's an everything issue, because blood carries oxygen and nutrients to every single cell. If that flow slows down, you feel it everywhere, in your legs, in your energy, even in your mood. Think about it this way. Your blood vessels are like quiet highways working overnight. While you're asleep, your heart's still pumping, your brain is still active, and your muscles are busy repairing. But if those highways get stiff, narrow, or sluggish, traffic slows down. The result? Cold hands and feet, restless sleep, poor recovery, and a feeling of being drained the next day. Now, here's where food becomes powerful medicine. When you eat something rich in natural nitrates before bed, like beets, spinach, or even a little watermelon, your body turns those compounds into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps relax and open your blood vessels, making it easier for your blood to move freely. This process happens quietly while you sleep, when your body is doing its deepest repair work. I remember telling Richard, the reason you're sleeping better isn't just that your legs are calmer, it's because your whole body is breathing easier through the night. His oxygen levels improved, his morning stiffness decreased, and even his energy walking up the stairs got better. That's the power of feeding your circulation before bed. But let's talk about something just as important, the foods that quietly block that blood flow. Most men in their 70s have developed evening habits over decades, maybe a cup of tea with a few biscuits, or a small piece of cheese, or even a late-night snack of cold cuts or soup from a can. These might sound harmless, but here's what happens. Processed and salty foods tighten your arteries. When sodium levels rise, your blood vessels constrict to protect your body from pressure spikes. That's the opposite of what you want before bedtime. So if you're eating something high in sodium or saturated fat before sleep, your blood vessels are literally working harder at night instead of relaxing. That can cause your blood pressure to rise slightly and make it harder for your body to oxygenate itself properly. The result? Restless nights and low-energy mornings. When I explained this to Richard, he told me about his nightly treat, a bowl of instant soup. It was his comfort habit for years. But that one change, swapping the salty soup for a warm mug of beetroot and spinach smoothie, changed everything. Within days, he started feeling different. That's because circulation responds quickly when you give it what it needs. And here's something I tell every man after 70. Your body still wants to thrive. The ability to improve blood flow never disappears. It just needs a little help. The biggest mistake older men make is assuming it's too late to change. It's not. I've seen men in their late 80s who transformed their circulation, energy, and vitality simply by making better choices at night. You don't need expensive supplements or miracle pills. What you need is consistency. That's where most people stumble. They try something once or twice, then stop. But your blood vessels, like your muscles, respond to regular habits. If you feed them the right nutrients every night, even in small amounts, they become more flexible and efficient. And for those who are wondering, yes, better blood flow affects more than just your sleep and energy. Many of my male patients quietly mention another benefit: stronger morning responses, more confidence, and better stamina. I always remind them, that's not luck, that's circulation. When your vessels are open and healthy, everything that depends on them works better. Now, let me pause here for a second. If you're finding this helpful, or maybe you've already tried some nighttime foods that improved your sleep, I'd love to hear from you. Type yes in the comments if you're planning to try this beet and magnesium combo, or no if you're still on the fence. I actually read these because they help me understand what's really working for men your age, and if you haven't yet, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. It really helps.
When Richard came back for his 1-month follow-up, I noticed something before he even sat down. His walk was lighter, his posture straighter, and he smiled the whole way into my office. "Doc," he said, "I've kept up my bedtime routine. I didn't think something this simple could make me feel this different." That's the part many men underestimate: simplicity. At 75 or 80, your body doesn't need complicated regimens or expensive gadgets. What it needs is nourishment at the right time. Nighttime is when your body naturally restores itself. Your blood pressure lowers, your heart rate steadies, and your cells rebuild. So when you give your system a small, nutrient-rich boost before bed, you're helping it do what it's already trying to do: repair and renew. I told Richard, "You didn't just eat differently, you started communicating with your body again." And he nodded. "It feels like my body's listening," he said. That's exactly it. Once circulation improves, everything from energy to mood to digestion tends to fall into rhythm again. Now, let's get practical. A good nighttime routine for blood flow doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, I always tell my patients to keep it under 10 minutes. You want something simple, relaxing, and easy to repeat. Here's what I often recommend to men like Richard. Start about an hour before bed. That's when your body begins winding down and your blood pressure naturally dips. If you take medications, this timing won't interfere with most of them, but it's still best to check with your doctor. Then, pick 1 or 2 circulation-friendly foods. A few slices of roasted beet or a small glass of beet juice is excellent. You can mix it with half a banana or a few walnuts for magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that calm your nerves and relax your muscles. Those nutrients also prevent cramps, something many men struggle with after 70. For men who don't enjoy beets, there are great alternatives. A handful of blueberries or cherries, both rich in antioxidants, can help your arteries stay flexible. Some men like to make a simple warm drink by blending a small piece of banana, a teaspoon of cocoa powder, and warm oat milk. Cocoa, in moderation, contains flavonoids that help improve circulation. And that soothing chocolatey flavor helps you relax without loading your system with sugar or caffeine. What's important isn't the specific food, it's the intention behind it. You're giving your body the building blocks it needs for nitric oxide production, muscle relaxation, and overnight repair. When Richard followed this pattern, something else surprising happened. His blood pressure stabilized. It wasn't a huge drop, but enough that his morning readings were more even and his dizziness when standing up disappeared. That's because better nighttime circulation allows your cardiovascular system to reset properly while you rest. I've seen similar results in dozens of men. And 79-year-old retired engineer told me that after adding a beet smoothie and almonds before bed, his morning headaches disappeared. Another patient, 82 years old, said, "Doc, my feet used to feel like 2 blocks of ice. Now, I don't even need socks at night." If you've been dealing with cold extremities, nighttime cramping, or restless legs, I want you to know these are not just signs of aging. They're signals from your body asking for better circulation. And you can absolutely improve that with small, consistent habits. Now, let's pause for a moment and ask, are you starting to see how powerful your nighttime choices can be? If this makes sense to you, type yes in the comments. And please, take a second to like this video and subscribe. It might seem like a small gesture, but it truly helps us bring this kind of health advice to more seniors who need it. Plus, I read your comments personally. It's how I decide what to cover next. Let's talk about one last piece Richard added that made all the difference: a short breathing routine. Just 2 minutes before lying down, he'd sit on the edge of his bed, close his eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. That gentle oxygen flow works with the nutrients from his food, signaling his blood vessels to stay open and relaxed. It's a quiet combination of food and breath, chemistry and calm. That's something I wish more men knew. Your mind and your blood vessels are connected. When you're tense, your vessels constrict. When you're calm, they open. So if you pair a circulation-friendly snack with a short moment of peace, you're doubling your results. And it doesn't stop there. Improved blood flow also means better brain oxygenation. Many of my patients report sharper morning focus, steadier balance, and less dizziness. It's like their whole system wakes up refreshed instead of struggling to catch up. When Richard came in for his 3-month checkup, he looked like a different man. His skin had more color, his voice was livelier, and his handshake was strong. He laughed and said, "Doc, I feel like someone oiled my joints and plugged me into a power outlet." That's when I knew he hadn't just improved his blood flow, he'd changed his relationship with his body. And that's the real goal of everything we've talked about in this video. It's not just about better circulation, it's about reclaiming control, even in your mid-70s and beyond. Because when you start taking small, intentional steps, like eating one simple food before bed, you're reminding your body that it's still capable, still adaptable, still alive. Now, let's pull this together. After following his bedtime routine for 3 months, Richard wasn't only sleeping better, he had more stamina for his morning walks, fewer cramps, and as he put it, a stronger sense of life in his legs. His wife even told me, he whistles again in the mornings. That may sound small, but when a man feels good, his whole household feels it. So what made the biggest difference for him? It wasn't just the beets or the magnesium, it was the consistency. That's the part most people underestimate. A single smoothie won't fix anything overnight, but when you keep showing up for your body, night after night, it begins to trust you again. Your blood vessels respond, your heart relaxes, your sleep deepens, your mornings brighten. And something else happens too. As your circulation improves, your confidence returns. You walk a little taller, you breathe easier. You stop feeling like age is something that's happening to you and start realizing it's something you're actively shaping every day. I often tell my patients, you don't have to chase youth. You just have to support the life you already have. That's why this bedtime habit is so powerful. It's gentle, natural, and perfectly suited for men in their 70s and 80s. It works with your body, not against it. It honors your age while strengthening your vitality. Here's what a great bedtime ritual looks like, the way Richard does it now. Around 9 p.m., he dims the lights, puts on a bit of soft music, and blends a small beet smoothie with banana and a few almonds. He drinks it slowly while sitting near the window, breathing deeply, and thinking of 3 good things that happened that day. Then, just before bed, he takes 5 deep, slow breaths to relax his shoulders. That's it. 10 minutes of care, and his body does the rest overnight. You don't have to follow his exact recipe. Your version might be a handful of walnuts and some cherries, or warm oat milk with cocoa and banana. What matters most is that you make it yours, something you enjoy, something that feels peaceful, something your body begins to look forward to each night. And if you ever wonder whether it's too late to make changes, please remember Richard. He started this at 77. Now he tells me, "Doc, I'm back to feeling like myself again." That's the reward I wish for every man watching this. Whether you're 60, 70, or 85, it's never too late to start improving your circulation, your energy, and your sleep. The small things you